Good evening and welcome to Source 16 News at 10. I'm Tammy Hancock. New this hour, Codell Construction's project superintendent of the new Christian County Middle School delivered some bad news to the Board of Education during tonight's meeting. Dan Dameron told board members the new school was severely damaged by lightning during severe storms this week.
The lightning hit the building and evidently came down through some steel in the building, which was in contact with some concrete at the ground level. And whenever it came down and came through, we had a minor explosion. It's something that I've never seen occur in my life like this. It actually blew out part of a block wall, the face off of it. It's kind of a freakish thing. I don't know if a professor could exactly design how this all occurred, but there was some damage. We are getting pricing and things to get these items corrected.
In other business, school board members approved IP camera systems to be installed in the following elementary schools: Belmont, Sinking Fork, Holiday, Lacey, and Crofton. Another action, school board members tabled taking action on a law enforcement agreement between the school system for fiscal year 2011-12. School board member Betsy Glover made the motion to table the agreement and explains why she needed more time.
Mr. Bowe and I went to the meeting with Chief Howie and Mr. Watson and Sheriff Level, and they answered our questions. That wasn't a problem. But I have had some questions come to me since then, and three of us can't get together. It's illegal to talk, and it's hard to, it's hard for me to say, well, I talked to Miss Keller and she said this, and because that's my saying, she said it, so it could be right and it could be wrong, except I don't lie because I got caught once. But I could not be saying exactly what she means.
Also, during tonight's meeting, Hopkinsville Community College President Jim Selby spoke about a new partnership between HCC and the school district that will offer 2 new programs for students in the summer. In other business, the board approved a $30,000 design fee for the new Christian County Middle School and approved a financial audit contract worth over $27,000 with Stiles, Carter and Associates. School board members also accepted a $2,500 donation from Christian County Cares 2015. The board then went into closed session to discuss pending litigation and took no action. Also during tonight's Christian County School Board meeting, a Hopkinsville man addressed the board about his concerns about how Senate Bill 1 will affect area students, as well as his issues with the school board. Clayton Boyd of Hickory Smoke Road questioned how parents will be involved and how students will be able to handle taking math classes in the 4th grade. Boyd also spoke about the role of Superintendent Brady Link.
And I guess I'm under the misconception that the board is elected by the people to represent the people. The superintendent is hired by the board as chief executive officer to carry out the policies and procedures set up by the board. And what I've seen for the last 18 months, it's almost been the opposite. So I'd like to see this little clarification a little later on, because I'm seeing more the executive officer controlling the board instead of the board controlling the executive officer.
Board members and Link listened to Boyd's concerns and issues but did not respond. In other news, in the wake of severe weather and damaging floods throughout the Commonwealth, particularly in western Kentucky, Governor Steve Beshear today requested a major disaster declaration from President Barack Obama.
And we will be adding counties as they get their damage reports put together to that request. And I feel confident that he'll grant that declaration. That will allow federal assistance in terms of particularly financial assistance to come in for local government, state government, and also businesses and individual assistance.
The governor traveled to western Kentucky to see the storm damage in person. During his four-city tour, Bashir stopped at a shopping center on the corner of 10th and Chestnut Street in Murray this afternoon to assess storm damage.
Here in Murray and Callaway County was a fairly quick event with the wind and the straight line winds and the damage that it caused. Other parts of the state are having kind of a gradual disaster in terms of flooding. I know you all have a little bit of water on the roads and that kind of thing, but we've got floods all up and down the Ohio and around the Mississippi, of course down in our river counties here.
But in a positive light, after getting hammered with severe weather for multiple days, Kentucky only reported one storm-related death out of 268 from 6 states.
That was, and while we're experiencing a lot of property damage, and it will take us a while to kind of dig our way out of this after the waters recede, certainly when you compare us to what's happened in other states, we've got a lot to be thankful for.
Bashir also visited Paducah, Henderson, and Smithland, where he helped fill sandbags. Currently, 61 counties, including Caldwell, Callaway, Christian, Fulton, Graves, Hickman, Hopkins, Lyon, Marshall, Muhlenberg, Ohio, Todd, and Trigg have all declared states of disaster. Meanwhile, Congressman Ed Whitfield of Hopkinsville today toured storm and flood damage areas in the 1st District. He led Kentucky's House delegation in writing a letter to President Obama supporting Bashir's major disaster request. Whitfield visited communities in 10 counties and met with local first responders, emergency response coordinators, and county judge executives to discuss the specific needs in each local area while also seeing the damage firsthand. Officials are warning residents and visitors that lake levels for Lake Barkley and Kentucky Lake could rise 13 feet over the summer pool level by Monday due to the recent rainfall. Tennessee Valley Authority and the Corps of Engineers are predicting the lake levels at Land Between the Lakes National Recreational Area to rapidly rise to 372 feet. The current level is 363.5 feet and is predicted to rise about 5 feet by Saturday. Officials say this will greatly impact LBL's boat ramps, campsites, trails, and roads, and efforts are underway to barricade and close all impacted areas. LBL staff warns visitors who use these areas to be extremely cautious and observe all closures for your safety. In addition, LBL officials are urging everyone to use caution when crossing creeks, streams, or any areas with standing or flowing water. Wrangler's Campground and Turkey Bay off-highway vehicle area will remain closed until further notice due to this week's storm damage. Visitors are encouraged to check the alerts and notices page on LBL's website, lbl.org, or to call before you haul at 270-924-2000 for current information, closure list, and details due to the recent storm damage and the predicted rise in lake levels. The Mayfield Police Department is trying to raise money for one of their fellow officers who was killed in a fatal crash yesterday. In a story we first reported right here last night at 10, an off-duty Mayfield police officer, 31-year-old Andrew Washington of Murray, was tragically killed in a weather-related wreck in Callaway County yesterday afternoon around 3:30. Kentucky State Police say Washington was driving south on Butterworth Road, north of Kentucky 94, when his 2006 Saturn hit a pool of water on the road, which caused his vehicle to hydroplane off the road and crash into a utility pole. Washington was pronounced dead on the scene by the Callaway County coroner. Mayfield police are trying to raise money to help out with Officer Washington's funeral expenses, as well as his wife and 2 children, who are also needing funds in the amount of $1,700 so they can fly to his home state of Oregon for funeral services there. Cash donations are being accepted at the Mayfield Police Department, located at 215 East Broadway Street, and checks can be made out to the police department. In addition, flowers can also be brought to the City Hall to be placed on Officer Washington's vehicle, located underneath the flagpoles on East Broadway Street. At this time, funeral arrangements have not yet been determined. An autopsy was scheduled today at the State Medical Examiner's office in Madisonville. Washington has been a police officer for the Mayfield Police Department since 2007. Well, the streets of Nashville will be flooded with people this weekend. Over 35,000 runners from across the nation will gather at the start line of the Country Music Marathon and Half Marathon. A group from the Hopkinsville YMCA will be among the pack, all with one goal in common. Michelle Herron has more.
They've dedicated over 4 months of training, When I cross the finish line, it's just an amazing feeling of accomplishment.
Over 30 runners from Hopkinsville's YMCA will represent Christian County in Nashville's 12th annual Country Music Marathon and Half Marathon this Saturday. The Irving couple will run the full 26.2 miles together for the first time and say it's each other's support that will help them along the way. This is the first training program for runners at the Hopkinsville YMCA, which not only helps keep up morale, but also increases safety.
In the thighs and quads and hamstrings to withstand that long of a distance, but also cardiovascularly and pulmonary.
Laura Field will take on the 13.1 in Nashville for the 5th time and says it's the runner's high that keeps her wanting more.
I enjoy running, I enjoy the feeling that I get from running, and I enjoy the accomplishment, the feeling of success.
Whether they are running the full 26 or the 13.1, whether they are seasoned or beginners, each runner will have one common goal this Saturday, and that's to cross the finish line. Michelle Herron, Source 16 News.
The Hopkinsville YMCA plans on continuing their program for runners. If you would like more information, you can contact Warren No at 270-887-5382. Taking a look at Friday's Mega Millions jackpot, it's $40 million, and Saturday's Powerball jackpot is $25 million.